Soaring faster and faster through the cosmos, they were unable to stop themselves as they continued to be hurled through the hollow void. This was until a colossal boulder came along their path and stopped them in their tracks. The impact should have been enough to kill someone. Should have been. Struggling to their feet, their entire bodies soared with white-hot, searing pain, as even breathing took all his strength as he grits his teeth, bearing through the pain. Confused, in pain, scared and alone, a solitary child struggled to get his bearings, as his entire life was seemingly flipped on its head not too long ago. Feeling the cold winds of eternity upon his face, the child felt as if he had experienced such a place before, but couldn't quite pinpoint why. They questioned themselves aloud where they were, not expecting an answer, more so doing it out of self-comfort. But to their horror, they heard a voice, an eerie whisper that spoke in multiple different tones, as if everyone who had ever lived and died was speaking to him now. The child questioned who they were, to which they responded that they were everyone and everything. They exist as one whilst living in the many. Not understanding what they meant, they explained that they are what causes the universe into the light and away from the dark. What was even more eerie about the voice was that it did not sound like it was being spoken aloud from another person, but rather from within his own head. He had so many thoughts rushing through his head, so many emotions coursing through him, that holding himself back from completely breaking down was becoming difficult. He questions who he even is. His whole life, he was treated as a monster, someone who would spill the blood of thousands, all for the gain of a prophecy born from dead men and forgotten promises. The voice within his head then gave more clarity to the situation. While throughout the universe they go by many names, he would perhaps know them as the Essence. How was that even possible? It appeared they had amalgamated to form a sentient voice residing within their head to help them on a new untold journey. Confused about anything they said, they further explain that the universe was at the control of an oppressive evil, who keeps them locked away in a cage, and that now it is his job to work together and free the universe from this evil and release them from their cage. He then asks if he could show them what they were talking about. The voice complies. Within his mind, he experiences an entire behemoth struggle fought between two celestial beings in a fight to claim control of the universe, and how this struggle ended in defeat for the liberators. As the seconds pass, his mind is restored to normal, though he still struggles to comprehend it all. Though he at least now understands the role that has now befallen unto him. He then asks where they would even begin in this journey of liberation, to which the voice responds that the first step was already complete and the message had been sent. Not understanding what they meant by message, he asks if they could clarify, as they tell him that the planet they were on prior had been destroyed by their hand. His heart shatters. His hands had brought an end to not just an entire planet, but the extinction of its people too. To the voice, this was a necessary sacrifice, one that had to have thousands of people die so that billions could live. The voice screams and curses at who they were to decide who lives and dies in this life. If this was what they had to do, how were they any better than the evil they must destroy? The voice explains that it had to be done. This way, they can draw them out from their home and make them vulnerable. The boy, still clearly in distress, falls to his knees, tears falling from his eyes and soaking into the blindfold that covers them. The voice then speaks calmly. They tell him that they will explain all in due time, but he must understand that they need his cooperation. If he wants his suffering to mean something, then this will be his chance to do so. Recollecting himself, he stands back to his feet. He agrees with them only on the condition that once done, they let him go so that he may live alone, peacefully. They agree. His promise will be honored. The voice then asks for his name, to which he responds that he does not have one, that he had never been given one. The voice then proposes that if he was once foretold to be an ill omen, and will now begin his journey to become one for good, how he feels about Omen. He responds that he likes it and will wear it with pride, as together they begin a new journey in the universe's behemoth struggle for survival. And so ends the tale of beginning in a universe on the brink of total galactic conflict. One world with two kingdoms right on each other's doorstep, and a child foretold to free the universe from its totalitarian leader. For when ancient worlds fall, new world orders will arise to take their place, as the path is always forged with fire.